Manic fucking Monday again, huh? Here it is, June 6, 2022, and this is 413 Sportstalk number 364. So the Warriors got their first win of the series last night, 107-88 against the Boston Celtics. As a team, the Warriors shot horribly, and Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green were very quiet, even though Draymond Green was very loud, and somewhat kind of like disappeared in a sense. Other than that, it was an alright game, but you want scores from everything, so that's what I'm going to give you. 364 starts now. Donovan Mitchell, the Utah Jazz star, is surprised and upset at the fact that Jazz head coach Quinn Snyder has stepped down, and he, along with the rest of his teammates, are wondering about the future of the franchise. Snyder was part of the reason why Mitchell signed his massive deal to stay in Utah. You feel for him when your ball coach leaves, man. It hurts. It does. And it leads me to wonder and ask you guys: do you think that this might spur him to move or something like that? Maybe renegotiate his contract, something. I don't know. Let me know down below. Quinn Snyder had a .623 win percentage over the past 6 seasons, which is third best in the NBA over that span. For wins and losses, he was 372 and 264, which is a percentage of .585. In the 8 years he coached at Utah. Minjee Lee wins the women's U.S. Open. This is the only one. This is the one I've always wanted to win. In quotes, she says as she secures the $1.8 million prize. Wow, money. Tampa Bay Lightning cut the deficit in the series along with the strong efforts, and they win 3-2, but the Rangers still lead the series 2-1. Game 4 will be in Tampa Bay as well, I believe. Hockey legend Wayne Gretzky's final Edmonton Oilers jersey, worn during the team's 1987/88 playoff run that saw the Oilers win the fourth of their 5 Stanley Cups, sells for an amazing $1.452 million. Wow, a shirt costs $1 million. Yeah, fuck that. Girls High School Lacrosse Long Meadow Lady Lancers are Class A champions as they defeated Agawam 13-9. They were up 10-2 at half. So Agawam kind of tried to make a valiant effort to come back, and the Lady Lancers did what they could to ensure victory. Gotta love it. Gabrielle Knighton's big day leads the team to victory, but what was more impressive was the Lancers' ability to shut down 2 of the state's best girl lacrosse players, really, and they are Class A champions, and they should do pretty well in the States, honestly. Speaking of that, let's continue on with Western Mass Sports girls side of things. Softball Division 1 round of 32. Westford Academy over Haverhill 12-0. Attleboro over Chelmsford 13-1. Peabody over New Bedford 3-0. Hopkinton over Marshfield 9-1. Methuen over Hingham 11-2, and that's it for Division 1. Division 2, Bedford over Neshoba 11-5. Plymouth North over Danvers 9-1, and Minnechaug over Falmouth 15-11. Go Falcons! Western Mass right there. Division 3, Tantasco over Apponequet 14-6. St. Mary's Lynn 12, Shawshene Valley Tech 0. Dedham 6, Gloucester 3, and the Triton 16, Cardinal Spelman 4. Ouch. I was hurt getting whipped by a school named Triton. Uxbridge over South Hadley 4-1. Western Mass loss. Whittier Tech over Clinton 9-1, and East Hampton Western Mass win over Wareham 9-0. Division 5, Ware over Pathfinder 12-0. Either way, it's even. Hopedale over Athol 10-3. Gateway over Neshoba Valley Tech 8-2, and Franklin Tech over Norfolk Aggie 10-3. Franklin Tech is one of my favorite teams in softball this year. And that is it for softball. Tennis, the preliminaries in a round of 32. Division 2, we start with Plymouth North over Neshoba Valley 3-2. Division 4 is Clinton over Sandwich 4-1. Mohawk Trail over Frontier 3-2. Uxbridge over Mount Greylock 4-1, and Lennox over Sutton 4-1. The Class A championship game, as we talked about at the beginning, was Long Meadow over the Agawam Brownies 13-9. Now on to the boys' side of Western Mass Sports, baseball preliminary / round of 32. Here we go. Division 1, Chelmsford over Bishop Thean 3-0. Andover over Xaverian 11-zip. Shrewsbury over Newton North 6-5. And Central Catholic over Lowell 16-1. Division 2, they have Plymouth South over Somerville 15-zip. And Melrose over Wakefield 5-3. Division 3, Austin Prep over Archbishop Williams 9-0. And that's the lone game for that division. Division 4, Mononomy over Lynn Tech 7-0. Hamilton Wenham 4, Littleton 1. Leicester 23, Cohasset nothing. Ouch, got smoked. Shawsheen Valley Tech 5, East Hampton 1, Western Mass loss. Abington 6, Winthrop 2, and Bellingham 11, Clinton 2. On to Division 5. Mount Greylock over Lennox 11-2. Georgetown over McCain Tech 5-1, and Franklin Tech over Ware 4-3. Now on to volleyball. These are Division 2 games, round of 32. Westfield over Leominster 3-zip, and Wayland over Longmeadow 3-0. On to tennis, Division 1, round of 32 and preliminary as well. Weymouth over Methuen 3-2. Andover over Boston Latin by the same score. And on to Division 2, the lone game was Amherst 4, Scituate 1. That's a Western Mass victory. Division 3, round of 32. Wayland over Auburn 5-0. Old Rochester over Grafton 3-2. Cape Cod Academy over Hanover 4-1. And that's it for Division 3. Division 4, Hopedale over Amesbury 3-2. Mononomy over Sandwich 4-1. Pioneer Valley Chinese Immersion Charter School 5, Stoneham nothing. Bartlett 4, St. John Paul II 1, and Cohasset 5, Mount Greylock 0. On to the Class A Championship games. We talked about the beginning. Longmeadow over Minnetonka 17-6. And that's it for Western Mass Sports. NHL, Tampa Bay Lightning beat the New York Rangers 3-2. New York still has a 2-1 series lead. NCAA softball, UCLA, they were ranked number 5. They beat the Florida Gators 8-0 in 6 innings. And Texas over Arizona 5-2. WNBA time. We had Minnesota over New York 84-77. Atlanta over Indy 75-66. Chicago over Washington 91-82. Las Vegas over Dallas 84-78. Phoenix over LA 81-74. CT over Seattle 93-86. Connecticut Sun are the highest scoring team in the WNBA. And they are right behind Indy, even though Indy lost as far as power rankings are concerned. NBA, we talked about at the beginning. Golden State over Boston. Let me hear that one more time. 107-88, series tied 1-1. NCAA baseball, the number 14 Auburn Tigers over UCLA 11-4. And that's it for NCAA baseball. Let's talk real baseball. Yankees over the Detroit Tigers 5-4. Philly over the Angels 9-7. Almost won. They almost won. That's 11 games. Now, 11 games in a row. Pittsburgh over Arizona 3-0. Cleveland over Baltimore 3-2. Minnesota over Toronto 8-6. Toronto's first loss in a very long fucking time. The White Sox over the Rays 6-5. San Fran over Miami 5-1. Washington 5, Cincy 4. Houston 7, Kansas City 4. San Diego 6, Milwaukee 4. A lot of 4s. Seattle over Texas in 10 innings 6-5. Atlanta 8, Colorado Rockies 7. Boston 5, Oakland 2. Yes. The Mets 5, Dodgers 4, and St. Louis over the Chicago Cubs 5-3. That does it for professional, collegiate, and Western Mass sports. Now let's talk NFL 32-32. Today I bring you the Indianapolis Colts, and here's my whole thing on them. Indy went 9-8 in 2021, good enough for second place in the AFC South, but didn't make the playoffs. It was a roller coaster year for the team, as the highs were highs and the lows were lows. Pretty fucking low, actually. Despite having 7 Pro Bowlers and 5 Associated Press All-Pros, the Colts failed to improve on their previous year's record of 11-5, which means questions might start thrown at head coach Frank Reich. I don't know. Tampa Bay beat them in Week 12, and that ended their playoff dreams for 2021. They had one last chance, but were strangely beaten by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the regular season finale. And it didn't help that Pittsburgh beat Baltimore as well that day, which, allowed Pittsburgh to get to the playoffs. And they got killed by Kansas City. Last February, the team traded 2021 third-round pick and a conditional pick to Philly for Carson Wentz, which turned into a first-rounder. Oy vey. After Wentz played 70% of the snaps as starter, and they obviously knew he wasn't going to be the guy for the future, so he was traded again. This time to the new look Washington Commanders. He got the better end of the deal. We'll discuss that later. So now that Wentz is in Washington and the Colts needed a quarterback, they trade for Atlanta's Matty Ice and give up a third-round pick. It's probably not worth it, and he fucking robbed Atlanta. So they think they can win with Matt Ryan right now. Well, let's see what kind of supporting cast they drafted in order to help him out, because that's a huge ask of anyone. Alec Pierce, wide receiver from Cincinnati, the Bearcats, second round, 53rd overall. I like his size and speed, 6'3", 210. The way he combined the two in 2021. 14 games, he caught the ball 52 times for 844 yards, and he scored 17 yards a catch. He used to take it over the top. He's definitely a deep ball demon, and that's exactly why Coach Wright wants from him. As Indy literally has, they have nobody to throw. A couple has-beens, washed-up guys, late-round draft picks that didn't pan out as viable starters. It's said, though, that he can push for the number one job, and that's scary. One of my favorite tight ends in the entire draft class, Jelani Woods, tight end from Virginia, third round, 73rd overall pick. He's 6'8", 250 pounds. I love the size-speed ratio. It's nuts. It's off the charts. He earned first-team All-ACC honors in 2021, catching 44 passes, 598 yards, and 8 tugs. He's another player that the Colts have drafted that has no fear of going over the top for the contested catch. He's bigger than most Mike linebackers, and even the weak and strong side guys too. Most safeties can't match up with him because of his ability to beat you vertically. So Jelani Woods will plug right in and eventually be the starter for this team, I think. Acceleration is an issue. It's not like it's just barely adequate straight line speed. We'll just call it that. Third pick by the Colts was Bernard Raymond, offensive lineman, very interchangeable, from Central Michigan, third round, 77th overall. I was very surprised that he lasted that long. A part of one of the best offensive line groups, in my opinion, that was ever assembled. Bernard dominated in both the run and pass game. He was a great kick step and was very quick on his feet, has the versatility that you need and look for in alignment with his size. He is one day going to be a very good Pro Bowls, consistent starter, and really no other concerns. It's just getting in and learning the ropes, and eventually settling into the way that he used to play back for the Chippewas of Central Michigan. Nick Cross, safety out of Maryland, third round, 96th overall, my number 6 on the top 10 list. Number 6 safety, I absolutely love his game. Ferocious against the run, is a guy who could just started to come into his own when defending the pass in his last year. Was a Terrapin from 2019 to 2021. He started 21 to 29 games, recording 134 tackles, 6 picks, 3 forced fumbles, and 4 sacks. After 2021, he decided to go pro. He said fuck his senior season, which might have been something he should have done. Into the 2022 NFL Draft. He does a little bit of everything well. I'm interested to see how he was a high safety in Maryland and how this is going to translate to the NFL and his role within the Colts defense. He's going to be asked to do more in pass coverage, but with the fastest 40-yard dash of any safety in this draft class, I'm sure that's a problem that Nick can handle. Eric Johnson, defensive lineman out of Missouri State, goes in the 5th round, 159th overall. Andrew Ogletree, tight end out of Youngstown State. Wow, small school. 6th round, 192nd overall. Curtis Brooks, defensive lineman out of Cincy, 6th round, 216th overall. Rodney Thomas II, linebacker out of Yale, 7th round, 239th overall. That concludes the Colts draft and episode 364 of 4-2 Sportstalk. Raheem Escalade. Thank you very much for your continued support of the show, and we will see you tomorrow with episode 365. shout out to all the student athletes in Western Massachusetts.